The US dollar is dumping as the BRIC nations are threatening to leave and create their own world reserve currency. On the flip side, everything else is pumping. Let's take a look at the charts and see what today's best trades are. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Again, not financial advice, just me making my own personal decisions, and hopefully some of the things I talk about can teach you something so you can make those decisions better in the future. But don't try to follow what I'm doing in real time. You should make your own decisions. But let's take a look right here at what's going on as the US dollar has been pushed back down into the support level after we got long down here on US dollar. Buying, ripped all the way to the top here. We started locking in our gains up here, and now we're back down. This could technically be a very large head and shoulders pattern here coming on. And if we break down below this level at 100, I think we could potentially be going back down to about the 97, potentially back down to about 93 in this range here for the US dollar, right? Which is a very possible thing. And if that happens, guys, what's going to happen with gold? Gold is going to pump through the roof over 2100 to brand new all-time highs for the first time in the history of gold. Gold is definitely looking very bullish as we're pushing forward here. Unfortunately, I do not have a position open on gold. I got short right in this range, covered here for profits, got long here, and then this one last little dip to the stop level right here hit me, got me at my break even stop loss after I was in the money, hit me on the stop loss, and then ripped to the upside. And I don't chase shit, okay? So even if we break out here, I'll miss it, because if I don't get the entry I want, then I sit on the sidelines and watch it, because that's not a good trading habit to have, to trade and to chase things. Wait for your pivots, wait for supply and demand zones, and that's where you get in. That's the current situation on the US dollar. Very interesting what's going on with the BRICS nations who are attempting to create their own reserve currency instead of use the US dollar as the global reserve currency. Also, Saudi Arabia, the petrodollar is also at risk now that China came in and brokered a deal with Saudi Arabia and Iran. Petrodollar is basically a US dollar-backed oil consortium that they put together in 1974 with Ronald Reagan. It's been going on ever since then, basically promising military aid to Saudi Arabia to keep the oil sales under the US dollar. That might be coming to an end also. BRICS nations plus Saudi Arabia. Ray Dalio also said that about every 80 to 100 years, the world reserve currency in world empire rises and falls. The US dollar has been in power since 1944 at the end of World War II. That's coming up on 80 to 100 years. Russia and China and the BRICS and Saudi Arabia could be working on something to flip that all around. So the US dollar is at very high risk. Maybe that's why Bitcoin has been pumping. So let's get right into the Bitcoin chart of what we got going on right here. Bitcoin still bullishly flagging here, guys. Bullishly flagging, of which I got long Bitcoin in the Wolfpack Telegram group. If you're not in there, you should be in there. It's going to tell you everything I'm doing in real time as I'm getting in and getting out of position. I'm looking for a push over this flag here on Bitcoin and spike us up to 30K, upwards of potentially in these highs here about 31.5, of which I'm also shorting at the same time. I'm adding to my shorts as we spike up to here, but I'm also long right here, locking in profits as we're going in. I'm basically swapping my profit taking with new long positions on this position right now, but we haven't broke out yet on Bitcoin. So is it going to break out? Time will tell. We don't know if it's going to break out or not, but it is forming up in this nice little bullish triangle pattern, especially if we look at the intraday chart here on Bitcoin. This is basically the Ethereum spike that broke out, which we'll talk about next, but Bitcoin is yet to break out. It'll be interesting to see if Bitcoin actually does potentially break out. If Bitcoin continues to break out, that'll continue to push Ethereum also. So right now, short-term bullish on Bitcoin to break out over this level, then potentially push us into these levels here, potentially get short. Anything over 30K, in between 30K and 31.8, I think is a good potential shorting opportunity to get in there, but also be locking in gains if you're long, because there's a lot of resistance in this range here for Bitcoin, right? This could easily be the potential near-term top for this massive rip and rally that we've had so far, of which has been, you know, about off the lows, currently up 84%. If we push up to this level, be at about 100% gainer off the lows, of which I then think we could potentially have 31 to, let's take a look at like a fib retracement here from here, right? Let's say if we had a rip all the way up to here, I would be expecting a pullback between 38 to 61 would be about 25 to 21.8, potentially down to 19 would be the 78.6 pullback level for Bitcoin. So currently, long and short Bitcoin as of right now. BTC, I'm long as of right now, but I'm also, these are all grids to not only lock in profits up in these levels, but also be adding to my position short on Bitcoin. So I trade in grids. I'm always, you know, getting in, getting out. So this is both me locking in gains as well as adding to my short as we spike into that level. So that's the current situation on Bitcoin, guys. But if we start breaking down below this trend here, then that could be the rollover that we could potentially see. Also got to factor in that we have a big divergence here, decreasing volume, also decreasing fear and greed indicator, right? highs here, but new highs here, lower highs here. So it's a bearish divergence. Let's take a look at what we got on Ethereum. We got in Ethereum right before this spike to the upside on Ethereum. But as of right now, it was looking like a potential trap over these highs. Multiple times has continued to fail. But after this fail right here, got that close above, and then we got long right about here and caught these 2 big days to the upside for Ethereum, of which I definitely think you don't get to 1900 and not go to 2000. Okay, guys, you don't come this far and then quit halfway. That's not how this game works. We call it a magnet, where it just magnets to the next whole number. So I think we're definitely probably going to 2000. I think that would be the higher probability. At this point, do we see some consolidation in here before that happens? Probably. Or we might just straight shot up right up to this level, of which I'll be shorting the entire way up into here. But you can see as of right now, currently already locked in about $3,000 profit on Ethereum, up 12K on the rest, got in at 1835. And I'll be locking in gains on the way up, but I'm also adding to my short as we start pushing up in here. So I'm long and short at the same time. I'm going to be adding to my short and locking in profits as we push up into the 2000 level on Ethereum. I also have positions open at Hydra Funding in Ethereum, right? We bought the dip here. I'm locking in gains the entire way up to about 2100-ish, 2000 on Ethereum. I've already locked in partial gains, but I also have shorts that are already filling here as well. All right, so I'm getting short as we spike into these levels up to 2000 and above for the reversal on Ethereum. Hedging both sides, guys. Swinging both ways here in the trading game, all right? So that's the situation on Bitcoin, Ethereum, DXY, and gold. Let's take a look at what's going on with the S&P 500, guys. There is a lot of confluence here as we are pushing into these levels here. This descending trend line, this descending trend line, also this horizontal line right here. This whole area is a big area of confluence and resistance. We are also getting very greedy on the fear and greed indicator. Also with the degenerate shift, we're pushing close into the potential sell signal here, right? As soon as we get the sell signal in the overbought territory on degenerate shift, typically a nice area where you're either going to see the actual reversal or beginning of a reversal, especially if it moves forward one more time to create a divergence. Brief interruption here, guys. Did you know that 75% of traders have accounts under $25,000? This creates a huge problem because even if you double that account in a year, which is almost impossible, you're still only making $25,000. Introducing Hydra Funding, where you can potentially get access up to $500,000 in capital. All you have to do, guys, is sign up for a challenge account, which is going to give you potentially access up to $500,000. And if you earn a 10% profit in this demo account without going into a 5% loss overall or a 4% loss in a day, you will then pass their evaluation phase and yes, get access to an account with the selected size account. And now, instead of trying to double a $10,000 account, you could potentially earn only 10% on a $100,000 account to earn the same level of profits. And the benefits of this are huge. Rather than risking your entire $10,000 on one account, you can use just $1,000 to potentially get access to $100,000 in capital. You can trade crypto, forex, stocks, CFTs, gold, oil, everything under the sun, all on MT4 and MT5. If you're interested, if you have an account under $25,000, like 75% of traders out there, you're not going to make any money with that account because it's too small. Get access to pro level funding and pro level capital with Hydra Funding. Link's going to be below. For example, right here was a big buy signal here on S&P 500, then created a divergence, a bullish divergence right here, where we had new lows in price action, but higher lows on a degenerate shift, and that led to a massive rally. Here we just have a sell signal on degenerate shift followed by a big decline. As of right now, we have another potential sell signal coming in at the resistance level before I think we can come back down and retest this ascending support level right here. If we break this down, I think we're coming all the way back down here to 3,500 and lower for the S&P 500. So currently short S&P 500 here at Hydra Funding. You can see I've been adding to my position in a grid all the way up. I still have this position open from the first initial sell signal right here, getting short right here. Took most of my profits down here, but I'm still holding that position from the first round and started adding to new positions as we spiked back up into this level on the S&P 500. So that's the current situation on the S&P. If we look at the US 30, similar situation, potential bull trap as we're breaking out over this high right here, looking like a failure to hold that breakout right now. Now we're starting to decline even more. As of right now, if we look at the fib retracement from here back up to here, we're in between the 61 and 78%. So So a nice solid area where this is peaking out, where I think we're going to definitely continually see a pullback to the ascending trend right here. We're also in the high greed level for the US 30. So I think we're going to have a pullback on US 30. Also short UK 100 after we took advantage of this huge dip to the downside, right? Shorted up here. Boom. Locked in a lot of my gains right down here on this bear trap down here. Ripped back to the upside, and I'm getting back short as we're heading into, let's get rid of all these drawings, huh? As we're spiking into these levels right here, right? This little box of resistance right here, right? These peak highs here, this pivot here, looking like a solid potential area to short. We're also very greedy here on the Fear and Greed Index right now for UK 100. So I'm expecting a continued pullback here, back down to this level, and then potentially all the way down to the previous pivots down here, the lows. That would be the ideal situation down near 67, 6,800 on UK 100. As you can see, currently been adding to this short. Boom, boom, boom. Reshort. You can see I got short up here, started covering, and then covering all the way down, and then started re-adding up here in that pivot zone. UK 100. Also short the NASDAQ, sell up in this range. So everything dumps. Basically, Nvidia, Apple, Meta are leading the NASDAQ right now, of which I just shorted Nvidia, started a position on Nvidia right here, got short of the top, and I'll still continue to add 2 more positions if we continue to spike higher back and retest these highs here on Nvidia. Also, look at Apple. Apple has been ripping to the upside. First starter position short Apple. I'll continue to add short, potentially up if we fill this gap up here at about 171. I'll continue to add to this short on Apple. A little bit better view on my trading view here because we're in this descending channel. Boom, boom, boom. Now boom here, potentially spike up here, fill that gap before coming back down to potentially fill this gap down here, or potentially retest kind of the midpoint of this channel to the downside, potentially even all the way back down here, right? We've been tested here, here, here. We could potentially come back all the way down to 116, 115 here on Apple. We're also basically super greedy over here. We're also potentially about to get a sell signal on Degener Shift as well. We are in the overbought territory where we're going to see a sell signal pending coming up very soon into a very technical level. So a lot of confluence here on Apple. So that's current the situation on those trades, guys. Let's look at some altcoins that we are currently in right now. Liquidity. This is one that we got into recently. Bought the dip down here on this mini revival pattern. If we look at the intraday chart, a little bit better view. Nice looking revival pattern, incoming trend, descending, followed by a channel and ascending triangle pattern breakout. Got in right about here. I already locked in profits twice. If we look at my LQTY, up about $8,000 on it so far. Longed here at about 234. Locked in profits here. Locked in profits here. Still have another order here and here to lock in the last two 25% positions, but I already locked in half here on liquidity. So nice looking chart as we push forward there. I'm also still long XRP, of which I've already locked in half my gains here. Initially bought the dip on this flag pattern break at about 44 cents, locked in the first initial round of profits, about 55 cents. The second target would be about 65 cents. Nice little consolidation right here. If we look at the Degener trend here, riding Degener trend pretty solidly as of right now. As long as we hold above this trend, things are looking pretty solid. Again, all that matters is what's going to happen with the SEC case. I don't fucking know. I don't care, but the chart's looking good, so I'm trading it for now. But I have a stop in place because if they lose, it's going to fucking drop 50% in probably 2 seconds. Hopefully I get filled because there's going to be no liquidity. We'll see how that goes. But if they win, this thing's going to skyrocket to the upside and probably push crypto with it. Interesting to see what's going to happen there. I'm also still watching ARB, of which we already traded once. Bought the dip here. I missed the dip by here, but I do like overall chart pattern that's forming up here on ARB. This is a nice consolidation pattern where if we do consolidate here and break out above these highs, this could easily push up to $2 per coin. So definitely watching ARB, and I'm also watching this revival pattern here on Blur. Consolidate here, 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 form up an ascending triangle pattern. After the lead-in trend here, you can see the Degener trend coming in, starting to flip back above bullishly on the Degener trend. If we break out above the 67-cent level, I think we're pushing back towards $1 per coin on Blur. So those are my favorite trades right now, guys. Things are looking good. I'm long the market for a short-term pop, but I'm also heavily short stocks right now, guys. Heavily short S&P, US 30, NDX, UK 100. I'm also adding to my Bitcoin and Ethereum shorts as we spike up to 2K and 30K, but I'm also long Bitcoin and Ethereum at decent prices right now. I got almost $1 million long on BTC right now, $739,000 position with a tight stop, but looking for that spike into 29 to 30K to lock in gains on BTC. But anyways, that's the current situation for today. Guys, let me know what you think. What's your game plan? What are you doing with your cash? You think we're going to pump beyond 30K and just keep going? Or is 30K going to be the local top plus or minus before we continue to slide down and before we potentially go into recession in the US, especially if the dollar keeps losing ground across the world? The dollar loses its value a bunch. It's also going to increase inflation. What's the Fed trying to do right now? They're trying to decrease inflation. They're going to have to raise interest rates even higher. We're fucked in the US. Might be time to leave, guys. I already left. Whew. Tough decisions. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.